In a matter of weeks, the task force has made the largest number of arrests of cartel leaders, operatives, and gang members in American history.
Go dark. Blackout helicopters sweep in low as unmarked federal convoys pour onto the streets from every direction. No sirens, no warnings, only encrypted signals flashing across command screens as the countdown reaches 0. This is not a routine raid. It is the largest coordinated strike in Minnesota's history, launched by the FBI and DEA against a criminal enterprise that has been hiding in plain sight for years. News reporting on this operation confirms that 197 suspects were targeted in simultaneous actions across residential and commercial sites, with massive amounts of illicit cash and evidence of an organized logistics network confiscated by federal agents. What made this cartel different was not just the scale of its activities, but the way it operated to the heart of America's Twin Cities. In the moments before the first breach, teams kicked down doors.
At 4 a.m., entire streets in Minnesota went dark, and unmarked convoys rolled in without sirens. Why did the FBI and DEA abandon standard arrest procedures for a synchronized mechanical strike across homes, warehouses, and loading bays? Because the target wasn't just people. It was a $652 million logistics machine built to survive arrests. Stay with me. We'll map the 9-person leadership council, the tiered couriers to managers lattice, and the encrypted playbook that forced agents to move all at once or lose everything. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. At 4 a.m., the network's noise floor drops. Couriers finish late routes and go home. Radios go quiet except for a few maintenance checks. Cash rooms thin out to 2 or 3 handlers, counting down drawers before a shift change. Leadership avoids routine pings to reduce traceable patterns. Noon gives you traffic, witnesses, and a cascade of texts. 4 in the morning gives you gaps. Less chatter, fewer eyes, and a predictable lull that you can plan around down to the minute. The grid sat on 3 levels. On the pavement, couriers and drivers ferried parcels, cash, and coded notes across state lines, moving like legitimate carriers with manifests that matched the outside of the box, not the inside. Above them, route and cash managers balanced flow and risk. They scheduled handoffs, shaped delivery windows to ride under peak enforcement, and kept clean hands by keeping distance from product. At the top, a 9-member council ran strategy through rotating aliases and fresh devices. They never issued direct orders. They used intermediaries, delayed relays, and one-way communications to keep a wall between planning and execution. Standard arrests snag the pavement. You grab a driver, the network pauses, and the backups reroute by sunset. Here, that script would miss. The council drilled for shocks. They rehearsed device power downs with strict timing, staged document burn routines with ignition kits hanging behind utility panels, and set controlled access routes so no single door led to everything. If a siren sounded on one block, the next block went dark by design. The find that forced a different approach sat under a plain warehouse on the edge of St. Paul. Beneath the concrete, investigators documented a buried command space. Server racks humming behind cooling baffles, coded schedules pinned to planning boards, and segmented radio gear laid out by channel and zone. Handwritten timetables mapped deliveries across multiple states, with color bands for risk and cash concentration. Battery backups ran in series, not as a quick fix, but as a durable power plan. This wasn't a stash room. It was a control room engineered for continuity. The first cracks came from inside. Anonymous tips started with exact drop times, the side of the dock to use, and the car that stayed 2 spaces back. At first, teams treated them as bait. Surveillance matched the notes. The timing hit. The behavior lined up. As the pattern solidified, slow case building gave way to synchronized action. The same voice that circled schedules also hinted at the cadence of the council's off hours. That clock data made 4 a.m. more than a guess. It set the window. To get in clean, sirens were out. Utilities partners created tight, dark zones that starved exterior cameras and motion grids without tripping interior backups. Unmarked convoys flowed in from multiple directions with no visible command vehicle. Radios stayed silent. Teams used pre-briefed signals and short, encrypted bursts so nothing obvious bled into the air. The goal was simple. No early knock, no glow on the cul-de-sac, no text that said, "Shut it down." There is doctrine for this. Multi-jurisdictional, intelligence-led raids cut warning cascades in discipline networks. Prior takedowns showed that when you synchronize across boundaries and clock the entry on the second, higher nodes lose time to coordinate erasures and escapes. It isn't flashy. It is mechanical, and it works because every site thinks it is the first hit. Money made the scale clear. Financial tracing pulled threads through blended accounts tied to logistics vendors and property deals. Funds hopped between clean businesses and shell entities, then returned as loans, leases, and service payments. The total volume pointed to hundreds of millions, hiding in plain paperwork that matched market rates and standard contracts. The target was a system. You take the brain and the backbone together, or you leave a living network that reroutes by sunrise. With the tiers mapped and the clock locked at 4 a.m., the focus moved from why to execution. How to open nearly 200 doors at the same minute without a single warning text slipping through. How do you hit homes, warehouses, and loading bays at the same time without a single warning text getting out? You strip the operation down to a choreography and lock every step to the clock. Teams moved to preset positions hours earlier, engines cold, doors closed, and comms sealed. The shared timeline didn't live in an app. It lived on wrist slates and memorized marks. Each unit carried fixed windows, plus or minus 15 seconds to stage, 5 to breach, 60 to control rooms, and faster to devices. When the second hand rolled, they didn't talk about it. They executed it. The risk sat in the first noise. A doorbell, a dog, a neighbor who posts to a group chat. That's enough to start the shutdown drill. The network had practiced it. Phones powered down in order, not all at once. Shredders running while burners lit. Door routes blocked with maintenance fans. One false move and evidence evaporated. So agents starved the first noise. They used unmarked cars spaced by blocks, never tail to nose, and avoided patterns like 3 vehicle stacks. No vehicle wore the look of command. The real command rode inside the timing, not a single SUV with antennas. Convoy logic centered on being seen as nothing at all. Routes staggered across feeder roads and alleys to spread the footprint. Lead cars didn't stop at corners. They drifted past, then looped to closure points. Loading bays got a quiet surround. Armored units sealed the exits first, then soft entries moved in. Forklifts parked in choke points were pushed aside with minimal sound. Drivers on the perimeter set containment arcs that trapped any last-minute exit without flashing lights or shouting across the street. The idea was simple. Surround first, then show up. Comms followed the same rule. Say less, say it fast, and say it in code. Short burst encrypted updates moved like blips, not streams. Predefined words replaced sentences. There was no open radio chatter, no rolling updates, no countdowns. If a team slipped, the code covered it with a 1-syllable status that told others what to do without telling anyone listening what it meant. The network also used encrypted platforms, but their cadence had patterns. The agent's cadence did not. Utilities partners carved out dark zones like surgical cuts. Select streets went out, but not the block over. Exterior camera grids blinked and never came back up because the power returned in waves that didn't rearm motion detectors in time. Inside, backups stayed live, but the blacked-out streets removed the early alarms. Entry teams brought their own light, kept low, and didn't silhouette themselves in windows. To neighbors, it looked like a brief outage. To the network, it delayed the first ping. The warehouse node got 2 teams at once. The first went straight for the server room. Hinges popped, fans still spinning, hands on the power before any wipe scripts finished. The second hit the cash sorting floor. Tables seized, bags sealed, and counters separated from phones and ledgers. A third micro team peeled off to the planning boards and grabbed dry erase captures and coded schedule strips. While one room cooled, the other stopped moving money.